Hello, my name is Jenna, and I was thinking earlier today, like 30 minutes ago, what does the world need more of at this time? After, obviously, I thought the obvious answer, which is cats. Then I realized it needs more Taylor Swift obsessed book lover matcha girls who also, their only child is a cat. So I decided, why not just add to the already, what's the word? Oversaturated industry that is wannabe booktubers, and why not just throw myself in the ring? I just thought I'd start off filming today because I recently got a library card, or I think I already had, I got it renewed. So I got a library card this week because I realized I probably shouldn't be spending hundreds of dollars at Barnes & Noble. So I just thought, just get a library card, then I can get all the books I want for free. And hopefully it'll make me read more books because I can just check out whatever I want. Hopefully I can read more books than if I had to actually buy each individual one. Because then, like, when you're buying it and there's like money behind it, whoa, this is gonna be bad. So I wanted to start off with the last book that I just read that kind of reignited my love for books and just like made me want to get back into reading. It's My Friends by Frederick Bachman, I don't know. There were so many times throughout the book that I had to highlight. I'm not like a highlight annotate girl with my books, like I want to be, but I'm just not. But there were just so many, I say that I'm flipping through, not finding any of them, but there's so many times that I just, okay, found the first one. There's so many quotes. Because that's what we do. Promises like that aren't lies. They're acts of rebellion against death. Tell me what. Okay, so that without the context. Ah! Let's go. You know what? No, I'm just gonna read you the first line of the book because that hooked me from the first second, from the start. And I started reading this book, well, by listening to it on Audible. And it made me just have to go and buy the book. Louisa is a teenager, the best kind of human. The evidence for this is very simple. Little children think teenagers are the best humans, and teenagers think teenagers are the best humans. The only people who don't think that teenagers are the best humans are adults, which is obviously because adults are the worst kind of humans. Now, even though I am actually, unfortunately, an adult, I still identify as a teenager, so that just meant a lot to me because I do think teenagers are the best kinds of humans. So I'm just gonna show the books that I picked up at the library. This one, Finders Keepers by Sarah Adler. I had not heard anything about it, but I saw that Abby Jimenez recommended, or she wrote a little blurb about it. It looked like something I'd like. It kind of reminded me, the cover reminded me of a Sarah Hogel book. She wrote You Deserve Each Other and Twice Shy. I think those are two of her most popular books. And I really liked those, and this kind of was like the same vibe on the cover. I looked at the back and it also kind of seemed similar to a book that she would write. So hopefully I like that. Next we have Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. I'm just realizing how few authors' names I know how to pronounce correctly, so that's really fun. This is just another romance book. I think it's about a songwriter in Los Angeles who can't write, which that's like me, but in Indiana. This is obsessed with songwriting, and I write songs. I go listen Jenna Frank on Spotify. I actually write songs too, so I just thought this is either gonna be like really interesting to me, or it's gonna like weirdly give me like imposter syndrome, or like I'm gonna be really judgy. Like, you know when there's a book and like there's like song lyrics in the book because it has to do with like songwriters and musicians. I'm trying to think of what books have that, like, I don't know, Daisy Jones and the Six, which is a great book. Like, sometimes when you can tell the songwriting is written just by an author and like who's not a songwriter, sometimes as a songwriter, there's just a little bit of like, that's not like the best songwriting ever. Except for Suzanne Collins. Whenever she has songs in her books, they're always really good. But yeah, so we'll see if I get around to this one. It's one that like I kind of wanted to buy, but I didn't know if I'd love, so I just thought it'd be better to get it from the library. Next, we have this book. I think it just came out last month. I hadn't heard anyone talk about it, but that's also something I want to get into doing, is just literally just picking a book at the library based off the cover. You know, the whole don't judge a book by its cover. Well, that's what I want to do. I just feel like that's really fun to just pick up a book that you haven't heard anyone talk about, you know nothing about except for looking at the cover and then maybe like skimming the back of it. That's what I did with this one, The Peculiar Gift of July. And yeah, it seems to be like this, yeah, I don't really know what it's about. That's actually a lie. I read it in the library. I read about it's about the library. It is about a girl named July who comes to a town and has like a secret gift, an uncanny knack for knowing things about people, like knowing random things they need. Just little, it seems like it's a really cute, touching book. If this book gets really big, it probably already is and I just don't know it. If this book gets really big, you heard about it from me, and I heard about it from no one, so yeah. Oh, also, the last time I did that with a book, it was actually earlier this week, a book called Tender is the Flesh. Yeah, I did that whole not really learning much about it and just reading a book based off of, oh, I'm just gonna buy this book. If you know, you know. If you've read that book, the last lines, I mean, the whole book is actually crazy. I don't regret reading that. I'm not even gonna say what it's about. It's about eating people. But yeah, so that one kind of made me be like, maybe should I be doing this? And then lastly, this is actually one that I did hear about. I saw like the author being interviewed like on a podcast and a TikTok. I just thought it sounded really helpful, really mindful, really full of wisdom. It's called Braiding Sweetgrass. I don't know why I show it every time. No, it's gonna mirror it, so it is gonna actually, I'm an idiot. I can be showing it. It's gonna, for me right now, it's backwards, but it's gonna be not mirrored. This is called Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teachings of Plants. Now, this is something, like, this is the kind of book that I want to be someone who reads, but it's not yet. I mean, I've read a couple things that are similar to this, and I always feel really smart and really proud of myself whenever I do. I think it's about nature. I think it's about the earth. I think it's about, I think it's how we need to braid sweetgrass. I think it's how we need to pick berries. In the interview that I saw that made me want to read it, the author was saying, we need to pick berries more often. I'm like, that's literally how I feel. Like, yeah, I had that thought this year. I need to be picking berries. I need to be braiding sweetgrass. So yeah, that probably is such a terrible, very superficial explanation of the book, but if I stick around long enough to do a review of these books, I'm sure I'll have a more in-depth review. Lastly, the one other book that I'm gonna be reading on my Kindle because they didn't have it, actual book in the library, is called I Who Have Never Known Men. I think that's what it's called. Oh, so My Dream Date, cute, okay. So yeah, I'm just realizing how little I do find out about a book before I decide to read it. I think it's like allegorical, maybe a little dystopian. I'm pretty sure it's a fiction book though, which would make sense if it's allegorically dystopian. I think it's just like, I'm hoping feminist literature. I think it's probably like about the patriarchy. That's what I'm gonna be reading on my Kindle. Yeah, so I will either be back or I won't.